Now, the scripture is so rich, and it is so worth our time to read, to meditate on, to think about, to mull over in our minds. You know, there's much in our world today that we can be concerned about, that we can be upset about, that we can be fearful about or anxious about. One of the things I found is just opening my Bible and reading it and thinking about it, praying about it, or listening to it. Maybe you don't have time in your day, you're so busy with things to just listen to. Just taking it in is so refreshing and so life-giving. So I just encourage you, please open it today. But in the book of Romans, we come to verse 28 of chapter 8, which is maybe one of the most beloved, one of the most well-known verses in all of the Bible. And he says this, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose." You know, and this is a verse that you will often hear when somebody maybe is going through something hard. You'll maybe go back to this verse as a reminder or a help. Just from a pastoral perspective, it's not always that helpful when somebody's going through something difficult or hard to come to a verse like this. This is something people know with their heads. What people need when they're hurting is someone to cry with them and pray for them and hug them and love them. They don't normally need people to quote Bible verses to them. No, sometimes we need to be reminded of the truth. But this is something we got to hold on to. We know that for all those who love God, we know, he says, there's a level of certainty. We know that for all those who love God, all things work together for good. Really? Really? I mean, that's all things work together for good? What about the mess that my life is in? I've had messes in my life. One of the really interesting things that as I look back at the hard things, hard, painful, difficult things, when I look back at those things, I see that this is actually true. I see that God was using those things to either get my attention, to move me in a new direction, because I like to be just comfortable. I like to be where I'm at. And he was using those things to get me moving, change my course, like bring my attention to something. Ultimately so that he could do a work in me, change my heart. I'm so prone to worshiping myself. When I encounter a difficulty, when Romans 8:28 says we know that he works in all things for the good of those who love him, ultimately he's trying to move our hearts towards loving him supremely. That's the ultimate good. That's the ultimate thing for which we were created. That's what he's trying to move us towards. And so anything in life, pain, suffering, worry, anxiety, hardship, anything can be a means by which he accomplishes that grace in us. And that's what Romans 8:28 is getting at.